Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. More than half of the votes are in and the numbers are still close. Let's take a look. Right now, the two candidates not too far apart in the numbers. The current incumbent, Senator Raphael Warnock, is in the lead with 50.1% of the vote, ahead by under 8,000 votes.
Our Fox 5 News team has the latest from both camps tonight. Fox 5's Denise Dillon and Eric Perry are at the College Football Hall of Fame with Herschel Walker and his supporters.
But first, we check in with Fox 5's Deidre Dukes and Rob DiRienzo with the Warnock camp in downtown Atlanta. Deidre, the incumbent senator is looking to hold on to his seat. How are his supporters feeling right now?
Well, you can see it here and you can hear it behind me, a party atmosphere here at the Marriott Marquis in downtown Atlanta. This crowd in high spirits. We just saw some numbers flash across the screen here showing Warnock with a slight lead over Herschel Walker, and this crowd just erupted in cheers, very excited. We also just heard a short time ago from Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens really rallying the crowd here, supporters, energizing them, just really excited to have the opportunity to talk to those here and tell them that they will be the reason that Warnock heads back to the Senate. Of course, as forecast and predicted, this race will be decided by very razor-thin margins. Now, recent polls leading up to Election Day gave Warnock a slight lead, but political strategists and the candidates anticipated this would be a close race. Senator Warnock has campaigned heavily during the runoff, holding events almost daily, crisscrossing the state. He campaigned in Norcross today. He urged people to return to the polls for a second time this election to finish the job and send him to the U.S. Senate. Democratic leaders I talked to this afternoon felt confident about their chances as the polls closed earlier this evening.
We've had a great turnout from the Democratic coalition. We're seeing strong turnout among voters under 30, strong turnout in our AAPI and Latino communities, among black voters, among women. So this looks like an electorate that is going to come back out and re-elect Reverend Warnock. And at the same time, we're taking no voter for granted, no vote for granted. We're going after every one of those votes in every one of these counties until the polls close at 7 o'clock tonight.
Now, the crowd was crowd supporters were allowed to come in around 7 this evening. That's when the gates open, the doors open. But we actually saw Senator Warnock here a little earlier than that. Mid-afternoon, came down here during the security sweep just to, I guess, get a lay of the land. He did not stop to talk to reporters, and he has not made an appearance here as of yet. We have not been told when we might expect to see him come down here. But very energized crowd at this hour. I'm going to toss it over to my colleague, Rob DiRienzo, who's been talking to folks out in the crowd tonight. Rob?
Hey there, Deidre. Well, the anxiety is just as high as the energy in this room. People watching the numbers come in, still too close to call both Warnock and Walker neck and neck. I want to take a step out of the way to show you the energy. The cash bar is open and people are rocking to the music right now. Several people here tonight I spoke to flew in from all over the country to door knock and campaign on Warnock's behalf, some coming as far as California and Oregon. Here's how one supporter told me she's feeling right now.
I would say it's electric, but I think everybody understands it's been a tight race, and so we're very hopeful, and we'll see what happens.
And back out here live, you can see people are hanging out just waiting for Warnock to appear and for the race to be called. Now, Deidre, you touched on it a moment ago when Mayor Andre Dickens was on stage. He says, I know something about close elections. I know something about never letting them see you sweat. So that is definitely the energy. They don't want anybody to see them sweat right now. But as these numbers continue to come in, it's still just too close to call, Deidre.
That's right, Rob. What a night for those gathered here at the Marriott Marquis in downtown Atlanta for the Warnock watch party. What they still say they believe, despite these close numbers, and right now it being anyone's game, so to speak, they believe at the end of the night, Senator Warnock will be victorious. That's the latest here from downtown Atlanta. Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News. Back to you.
Quite the lively party atmosphere in that room. Deidre, thanks. Again, these numbers, as Deidre said, are extremely close. Republican Herschel Walker is looking to unseat Senator Warnock after a tense campaign season.
Fox 5's Denise Dillon joins us now live from the Walker camp tonight. Denise, they're certainly aware that their are still votes yet to be counted from Metro Atlanta that were cast today. What's the mood in that room?
Well, it has changed throughout the evening here at the College Football Hall of Fame, and you know what a perfect place for a former pro or UGA pro football player, plus UGA star, plus Heisman Trophy winner to have his watch party, right? And if you take a look around, the room is packed. Now, you asked about the mood here earlier in the evening when the results of the early voting were coming in and showed Warnock with a big lead. The crowd was very subdued. But around an hour and a half ago, cheers just erupted for the first time when Walker pulled ahead, and those numbers have stayed very close since then, just energizing the crowd. Now, we have talked to Walker's campaign people just to try to get an idea of what his game plan is for tonight. So let me tell you what we found out. He is here. He is in the war room. Take a look. Right up here behind these dark curtains, they tell us he is there with his family and close friends and his advisors. They're watching the results come in. But as of yet, we have not seen him here at the party. Now, Fox 5's Eric Perry is also here. He has been talking to Walker's supporters. Eric?
Yeah, Denise, he's in the war room, and I talked with their campaign manager as well, and they tell me there's really no timeline. Everyone's buckling up for what's sure to be a nail-biting race and a long night. I want to kind of show you a little bit behind me here. A lot of emotions here as we're seeing that flip-flopping here in the polls, as right now 87% in. I've spent the last few hours talking with the supporters as they trickle in. They say what they believe the most and what they believe in the most is Walker's personality, and they want to see a change. I talked to Darnell Frederick. He lives in Atworth. He volunteered on the campaign throughout months, helping to rally that support. I've also talked with people who are coming in from all over the state, like Jim Kingston. He made that 4-hour journey from Savannah. Take a listen.
Momentum is fantastic. Atmosphere, fantastic. Everybody is just, they're all happy.
Herschel Walker is truly a rags to riches story coming from Johnson County. It's really amazing. We've never really seen a type of candidate like this before. So the fact that people are jumping out of their seats to get out and wait in some occasions 1 or 2 hours in the polling line, that doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, back out here live, really a waiting game. People just know that it's going to come down to those very few votes. But you see here high fives, laughs, and a lot of good spirits here. Again, we are just waiting for people to come. We saw a couple of people up on the podium. The last person was a representative from the Cobb County Republican Party, just saying to the crowd it's going to be a long night, keeping your energy up. But again, we'll be here throughout the evening. Denise?
Yeah, it does seem like a waiting game at this point. Thanks so much, Eric. And again, we are just waiting and hoping that Herschel Walker comes down to address the crowd soon. Reporting live, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
All right, Denise, thanks. So reminiscent of the leadership changing hands on November 8th. You remember we were here watching the same thing happen, just how close it was. Almost 1.9 million Georgians voted early, shattering turnout records during the mandatory 5 days in this year's shortened runoff period.
Yeah, huge turnouts all throughout. Fox 5 News anchor Tom Haynes joins us now. Tom, another big turnout at the polls today on Election Day as you take a county-by-county look at these results.
Guys, here with Lori Geary, our political analyst. It's been an extraordinary race, Lori. I think you would agree on so many levels this time around. We're in a runoff. Balance of power in the United States Senate not even at hand, and we had record turnout for the runoff. Look at the razor-sharp margin here. I mean, it can't be any closer. This is like watching a sporting event, right? I mean, this has been going back and forth. But Laura, you and I were talking about, if you're a Democrat, if you're the Raphael Warnock folks, you got a bullseye on Metro Atlanta. How has he been performing this time around versus the last time?
Raphael Warnock has been performing really well in Metro Atlanta, and the reason why they feel pretty confident right now is a lot of outstanding outstanding votes in Cobb, Fulton, DeKalb, and Gwinnett. Those are really strong counties for Raphael Warnock.
But if we go county by county, let's look at Fulton really quick. 81 to 18.
This is why they feel very confident.
DeKalb 90 to 9. Okay, let's jump up here to Cobb 59 to 40. Have all of these votes from Metro Atlanta come in?
No, that's why they're waiting, and that's why they feel really good. Now, the reason perhaps that Walker is so close is that overall turnout in Metro Atlanta is down a little bit, but overall turnout in the rural counties, which favor Walker, is up a little bit.
Let's jump to Baldwin County, something you said is sort of a bellwether.
It really is
in state elections.
Baldwin County, if you look, Baldwin County is really 50% Republican, 50% Democrat. It's just the way the county has been. And this could be a sign of like what's to come later tonight. This could be how close it is.
This could be how it settles.
It really could.
All right, we had a couple of important polls going into this race. Let's look at our Fox 5 Insider Advantage poll, which showed about a 3-point spread between these two candidates. It fell within the margin of error. A Landmark Communications poll put it at about a 5-point spread. Do you think, Lori, by the end of the night, that this is where this thing is going to settle? Any surprises here?
I think it's going to be this close, and I think the big surprise will be if Walker can hold it this close because of the amount of money that Raphael Warnock has spent. I mean, he outspent him by 3 to 1. And really, you know, a lot of folks are criticizing the way that, you know, Herschel Walker campaigned, right? He kind of disappeared for 5 days. They didn't see him, that he wasn't as strong of a candidate as Raphael Warnock. So I think that could be the big surprise. Remember also, if it's within a 0.5% margin, the losing candidate can request a recount.
All right, Georgia, now a purple state. You're seeing that play out here tonight. This is going to change for sure, but amazing political analyst by Lori Aguirre. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, fascinating to see how this is all shaking out after the polls showed a race that wasn't quite as tight as what we're seeing so far tonight, but still a long way to go. We'll be following along with both campaigns all throughout the night.
And be sure to check the Fox 5 News app for up-to-the-minute results as they come in, and stick around here because we'll have numbers for you all night long. Jonathan?
Fox 5 Swim Team meteorologist Jonathan Stacy with you on this Tuesday night. And the big problem tomorrow morning as you head out to work is already with us tonight, and that is thick, dense fog from the Atlanta metro area even out into the more rural areas as you get your morning started. Anytime you have these two numbers, the current temperature and the dew point near each other, it is a perfect recipe for fog. And we're talking about some really thick fog. We have a dew point that's hanging out at 53 degrees, a little bit of election terminology here. Those numbers are neck and neck. The current air temperature, 54 degrees. The fog right now, pervasive and thick. You can see here the visibility at a quarter of a mile. This is normally a picture of Midtown. You can see a couple cars down there on the roadways near the connector, but by and large, there's not much that you can get out of this picture. Therefore, the National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory. It's in effect until 9 o'clock tomorrow, in effect for all counties with the exception of our Tennessee and Alabama border counties. That does not mean that you won't have issues tomorrow, but your issues, if you're in the county shaded in gray, that will be the fog, and the fog will take its time to lift. But after the fog comes the rain. We'll take a close look at your forecast coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Statistics in Gwinnett County show that the school district has seen an increase in violence and also a decrease in reprimanding these students. I'm Brittany Yedney, and coming up, students speak out about safety concerns.
And we're watching the latest results in Georgia's Senate runoff election. Still ahead tonight, we'll take you back to both camps as they watch the numbers come in.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Get news from Fox 5 and Good Day Atlanta.
We continue to follow the race for Georgia's U.S. Senate seat in this runoff election, and the margin could not be any closer at this point. The candidates just about 1,000 votes apart right now. Senator Raphael Warnock holding a very slight lead at this point in the race over his opponent, Herschel Walker.
3 million votes cast and 1,000 between them. Really pretty amazing. We'll come back to that. In the meantime, a day after Gwinnett County Public School educators held a secret meeting to discuss on-campus violence, some students are talking about the problems.
Fox 5's Brittany Edney has more on the increase in violence, decrease in punishment, and the fears students face as hallways turn into stages for fights.
Gwinnett County Public Schools has received criticism from parents both in public meetings and also online. Students say it's time for the district to get things under control. A student gave Fox 5 this video of a fight that broke out at Peachtree Ridge High School in August. We spoke to another student, sophomore Tyler Lee, about what he's seen on campus.
A lot of students engaging in physical altercations, verbal altercations with other students and staff and administrators even.
The district reports a nearly 35% increase in violence from 2021 to 2022. But tribunals, where the most serious violations are dealt with, are down nearly 88%. Suspensions are also down. Statistics some students say impact their decisions at school.
Sometimes I won't use specific restrooms within school because it is known for sponsoring illicit activities such as drug use or fights, things like that. And so there are definitely some places to stray away from. But I would also argue that, this has been a high school thing for a while.
In November, Peachtree Ridge High School students received a school notification about a student who was arrested after an unloaded gun was found in the trunk of their vehicle, along with bullets stored in the center console.
And that was extremely disturbing to me, and it was sent out through a mass email from our principal.
We reached out to the Gwinnett County School Board of Education members and also the superintendent, Calvin Watts, for comment. So far, the district has not gotten back to us, and one of the board members also referred us to the district. We have yet to receive a statement of any kind. In Gwinnett County, I'm Brittany Edney, Fox 5 News.
Brittany, thanks. A deadly Northwest Atlanta house fire and explosion is now being investigated as a homicide. The Fulton County Medical Examiner has ruled the death of one of the two people killed in that home as a homicide. The fire broke out at the home on Bolton Road Saturday morning. The victims have not been identified yet. Federal investigators originally classified the fire as a pipeline disaster. An Atlanta police officer and a suspect were hit by a suspected drunk driver, and both men are in the hospital tonight with serious injuries. Atlanta police say Officer Robert Golden responded to Jonesboro Road, where callers reported an armed man identified as Charles Thomas threatening a woman. Police say Thomas ran from Officer Golden, and when Golden chased him across the road, they were both hit.
Our officer and his family does need your prayers, and the Atlanta Police Department will be here with the family until he makes a full recovery.
Jason Haynes was identified as the driver accused of hitting Officer Golden and the suspect. He's facing several charges, including DUI and serious injury by vehicle. As for the suspect in the original call officers responded to, police say Charles Thomas has 5 arrest cycles with the department dating back to April of 2006.
DeKalb County police are asking for the public's help identifying a murder suspect. Police have connected this man to the murder of 17-year-old Ian Haggerty. Haggerty was shot and killed during a candlelight vigil on Flat Shoals Road on November 27th. The shooting also injured an 11-year-old boy. Also in DeKalb County, police are searching for a missing mother and her 1-year-old daughter. 15-year-old Junia and her baby Amani were last seen leaving their home on Lark Lane Drive in Decatur on Saturday. No word on where the two were going. If you have any information or have seen the missing mom and baby, you're urged to call police.
Well, the nation is watching as Georgia's U.S. Senate results pour in. We break down the numbers with our political panel when we come back.
Fox 5 News is brought to you by Montlick & Associates Injury Attorneys.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Let's check back in on the race for Georgia's U.S. Senate seat as we take a look at these runoff results as they come in. Incumbent Senator Raphael Warnock in the lead, about 40,000 votes ahead. Scratch that, about 25,000 votes in the lead over Republican challenger Herschel Walker right now. This race will have wide-ranging implications with either candidate declaring victory.
Fox 5 News anchor Christine Spiro joins us now with our political panel to talk about the numbers so far. Christine, still early.
It's still early. There are 85% of the precincts reporting, and with such a tight race, there is a lot to talk about. I'm joined by our panelists tonight, Lori Geary, Theron Johnson, Brian Robinson. What is making this race so razor thin?
I think it's just the enthusiasm really from both sides, and both sides have a different reason to come out, right? I mean, there's the folks on the Republican side who don't want to see, more power given to President Biden, and there's folks on the Democratic side who say, Herschel Walker isn't the candidate. He's not qualified. So there's just
even with the balance of power set in the Senate right now, you think that's still driving people?
It is. I mean, we were just talking about different counties and the turnout. Let's say in Columbia County, 1,000 more people showed showed up to vote today than they did in the general election, and there's only one race on the ballot. So that shows you the interest that this has garnered.
But the key here is that, Brian, Herschel Walker needed to, or would have liked to have gotten the votes at the pace that, say, Brian Kemp did during the general election. Is that happening?
Well, he is doing remarkably well with Kemp voters. There's no way he could be this close. I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of Democrats out there holding their breaths a little bit through the evening that has been exactly this tight. I think they thought it was going to be a much more comfortable margin by this juncture. So, you know, the split in the Senate does matter. 51-49 is way different than 50-50 as far as how the power is distributed. And so I do think that may have played a factor for some voters. Look, there's still a lot of unhappiness with the Biden agenda. And so you see people coming out to vote against the current economic conditions, to vote for change. Herschel Walker in this race was the change candidate.
Darren, are you one of those Democrats who were holding your breath? Don't hold it too long.
Yeah.
I hope we have a medic on staff here.
Well, yes, I was, and I still am, but I just talked to a high-ranking person over in the Warnock campaign, and they feel good. They feel very confident where they are right now. They're not calling it. But, you know, to Lori and to Brian's point, this race was very significant. I mean, this is a 6-year term, and I think that you got to really applaud the Warnock team who right away went across the state. They knew they had to get their base back out and to really get into some of these rural counties. And so this is very close, but ultimately, again, just talking to some folks in the Warnock campaign, they feel very, very confident about the results.
And we're just getting news now. I'm being told that the Associated Press has called the race for Reverend Raphael Warnock. Right. He is now considered the projected winner of this U.S. Senate race. And we've been talking tonight, Lori, at the fact that a lot of metro Atlanta counties still had votes coming in, and that was going to help him get over the hump.
We were waiting on the results from Fulton, Cobb, DeKalb, and Gwinnett counties coming in, and this is what is pushing Raphael Warnock on top, and it's why he's now the projected winner. As I mentioned, though, overall turnout in Metro Atlanta was down a little bit. Overall turnout in the rural counties was up a little bit, and I think that's why you've seen the race so close.
Yeah. Brian, your initial thoughts on seeing this race being called now? As we wait to see if Reverend Warnock here gets to the stage, we'll take that. Really quickly, Brian, just kind of your closing thoughts here.
Congratulations to the Herschel Walker team, because they got outspent 3-1, and they have kept it to this razor-tight margin. Congratulations. It's really hard to do when when the Democrats have such a spending advantage like they had. At the end of the day, the Warnock brand was very strong. He's the only Democrat who won statewide this year. The Republicans swept everything else. Warnock has built a brand that's made it really hard to make negative messages stick, and he made himself independent of Biden and Stacey Abrams, I might add, fairly effectively.
Yeah. All right. Again, the AP calling the race for Reverend Raphael Warnock. Much more to come on this right after this here on Fox 5 News at 10. We'll be back.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Get news from Fox 5 and Good Day Atlanta 24/7 with email newsletters.
It's the news you want delivered right to your inbox.
The morning brief gives you all the top stories to start your day.
And the GDA download.
Again, the Associated Press has called Georgia's U.S. Senate race for Reverend Raphael Warnock, the incumbent Democrat senator. You may be looking at this and saying to yourself, well, look, it's fewer than 40,000 votes at this point, and that's true. But the Associated Press knows from the Secretary of State's office where the votes have yet to be counted. Most of that is in Metro Atlanta, so the expectation is that this gap will widen as the night goes on. The race was tight, but Senator Warnock is running away with the win here at this point. Let's check in with Fox 5's Deidre Dukes.
Yeah, Deidre, we saw just a little glimpse earlier, a little bit of an eruption in that room. What was it like when the race was called?
Well, I tell you, Russ and Courtney, this watch party has quickly turned into a victory celebration. Take a look at the crowds behind me. They just erupted in cheers and applause, just so excited for Senator Warnock and his supporters when this race was called for Senator Warnock, because, of course, so many people in this room after the general election went right back at it again. So many of the folks here actually helping make those phone calls, knock on those doors, do anything that they could do to assure that Senator Warnock would return to Washington, D.C. And boy, it was a hard-won battle, but they certainly have done that. And as you can imagine, they are ecstatic. Now, we have not heard from Senator Warnock as of yet, but we do expect that he will address the crowd sometime before the 11 o'clock hour. Really, there was some, I don't know if concern would be the right word, but there really was some interest in how Governor Kemp's jumping into the race and supporting Walker, how that would impact the outcome of this race. And so Democratic strategists were really looking at that, looking at those numbers to see if, in fact, Governor Kemp could do what did not happen last go-around and help Walker cross that finish line. As we saw, razor-thin margin of victory here. Those numbers went back and forth between Warnock and Walker all during the night. But as we see now, Senator Warnock, after a tough fight during the general election and coming to this runoff election with 4 weeks trying to get his people back out to the polls, crisscrossing the state of Georgia, even making a stop in Herschel Walker's hometown, doing anything he could, even today, stopping in Norcross and campaigning there, because he said that even though polls leading up to tonight showed him with a slight lead in this race, he was not leaving anything to chance. He really was urging his people to get out and vote, and once they had voted, to take other people to the polls, really to do everything that they could to assure that there would be a victory tonight, and that is in fact what we are seeing here. Again, we are told that we possibly could hear from Senator Warnock sometime within this hour. Of course, if he takes that stage, we'll return live to you so you can hear from him firsthand.
All right, Deidre, thanks. Lots of excitement in that room. A different feeling with the Walker camp tonight.
Well, Fox 5's Denise Dillon live with supporters there at the College Football Hall of Fame. Denise, it went back and forth, but it looks like the die is cast.
Yeah, you know, people have been on the edge of their seats here all night long because those numbers were going back and forth, and the numbers were so close for so long. As I said earlier, cheers would just erupt every time Walker would go up, even if it was just a 1/10 of a percentage point. And just really about 15 minutes ago, someone took the podium here. It was Ginger Howard. She is the Republican National Committee woman. She was saying, hey, keep your spirits up. It's going to be a long night, but it's not over. But then a short time later, word began to spread throughout the crowd that the race was called for Warnock. And as soon as that happened, a number of people gathered right in the middle of the crowd here. About 20 or 24 people there. They all stood in a circle and said, let's just pray. They were, shoulder to shoulder, standing in that circle, just praying. We have not seen Herschel Walker at this watch party at all tonight. We've talked to his campaign people. They told me that he is up in the war room. Now that is just a level up behind these dark curtains here. You can kind of see people every now and then looking through these curtains. That is the war room. We are told that Herschel has been there throughout the evening with family, close friends, and his advisors, but we have not seen him here at the party. We do hope that sometime throughout the night, at some point, he will come down to speak to his supporters, and when he does that, we, of course, will bring it to you. Reporting live, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
We certainly will come back to you then. Denise, thanks very much.
Yeah, we are awaiting to hear from both Warnock and Walker. We will, of course, bring their remarks to you live as they happen. For right now, let's turn to the weather. Talk about what's happening outside. Things weren't as rainy today, but it looks like we have some fog to contend with now.
We're starting to pay for the rain that we got yesterday, and the little bit that we did get today, on the backs of that, we are getting warmer temperatures, but we first have to wade through the fog.
All right.
It all starts tonight going into tomorrow morning, so listen up, folks. You have a very slow commute ahead of you because this is going to be the issue. A fog alert in effect. In fact, we have a dense fog advisory in effect through 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Low beams on, and take it slow tomorrow, especially between the hours of 6 and 8 o'clock. That fog will start to let up as we get closer into the mid-morning time period, but nonetheless, even in metro Atlanta, that fog is already thick and will be thick as we go through the morning hours. Look at these visibilities at a quarter of a mile here in the metro area. Come up to Gainesville, the same there, really between, I say, I-85 and I-20, where the worst of the fog is. Clark County there, Athens, down to a quarter of a mile, and then there will be some pockets of mist and drizzle enveloped in there as well. The further to the west you go, especially along the Alabama and Tennessee state lines, fog won't be the issue, but rain would. Normally, I would say let's take a live look over downtown Atlanta. Not tonight, because the fog is already firmly in place. You have your dew point and your current air temperature hanging out in the low to mid 50s, the perfect recipe for fog. As the winds relax tonight, we're looking for that fog to really thicken up. So dense fog, the problem first thing tomorrow. What you will notice, you won't have much sunshine, but you will be warmer than you were on Monday and today. We're actually going to kiss 70 degrees tomorrow, so there will be a dampness in the air after the fog lifts, but it won't actually be a chill in the air because we're going to warm things up. As warmer air comes in, we have first the fog and some showers for the extreme northwestern tier of the state. This is 6 o'clock in the morning. Overnight, the temperatures come up out of the 50s, and by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're still climbing on the thermometer. We're at 62 degrees, 58 there in Ellijay. Come out to Clarksville, you're at 54 degrees. I'm not worried about fog up here for the northern tier, but when you go out to Covington, 57 degrees, your morning will be filled with fog, especially out on the roadways and especially over bodies of water. Be kind and watch out for those bridges there. By 9 o'clock, you have some showers that are sneaking in to parts of Pickens County. You can see there in Canton, you're getting a shower starting to dry out a bit there in Rome, in part before bigger rain comes in for the noon hour. This is the more congealed line that will first jet through our far northern tier. By the time we get to 3 o'clock, the kids are getting off the bus, got some afternoon activities. Well, you may be cut short with doing those because of the rain. By 6 o'clock, that rain has greeted the metro area. So the first commute tomorrow morning is you're dealing with fog, and then tomorrow afternoon going into the early evening period, even as temperatures warm up into the low 70s and upper 60s, you're dealing with rain. The rain subsides by this time tomorrow. I think we have another round of fog again on Thursday, but it looks like Thursday will be drier and it will also be warmer. So here's a look at your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast. I will give you a 40% chance for rain tomorrow, but I will take the temperatures back to the 70s. We're going to be cut some slack in the rain department for Thursday, but remember we have fog tomorrow morning, fog Thursday morning. By Friday, we'll dance in a few showers, 70s sustained until we get to the weekend. By the latter part of the weekend, we're back down into the 50s, low 60s with another chance for rain Sunday going into Monday.
I'm Joy Dukes, and coming up on Fox 5 News, a celebration of life for what would have been the 25th birthday of a Metro Atlanta woman that police say disappeared nearly 6 months ago. How loved ones of Alania Lenoir are remembering her as the search for one of her alleged killers continues.
The Dogs came out on top during football season, but the Jackets on the court had other plans. Highlights on the way, and we introduce you to one high school team vying for a title with some real interesting ties. Sports is coming up.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Get news from Fox 5 and Good Day Atlanta.
It has been nearly 6 months since the disappearance of a Metro Atlanta woman who police now believe was killed by two men at an apartment complex in Midtown.
Tonight, family and friends of Alania Lenoir gathered at Piedmont Park to honor her memory with a vigil on what would have been her 25th birthday. Fox 5's Joy Dukes has the story.
Yeah, it was a bittersweet day for loved ones of Alania Lenoir, many of whom are still fighting through the emotions that have come with her disappearance. Months later, still no body found, still no closure. But on her birthday, Tuesday night, their focus was celebrating her life.
Happy birthday to you.
dressed in pink, holding balloons, flowers, and signs.
She's always wearing pink on her birthday.
Loved ones of Alania Lenoir got together Tuesday evening inside Piedmont Park, the unofficial meetup spot for their search parties, this time for a slightly different occasion.
It's about Alania's 25th birthday and what she meant to us.
A cupcake candlelight vigil to celebrate her life on what would have been a milestone birthday.
I had to celebrate her because I love her and they love her too.
Her mother, Jeanette Jackson, tells Fox 5 it was important that they spent the evening in good spirits because it's what she would have wanted.
Now we are like the pieces of her that are here.
For the last 5 months, Jackson has fought for answers she hoped would bring her daughter home. She was last seen at 1660 Peachtree Apartments in late July.
At first, everybody thought it was, not serious. But now we're saying, right, super serious, which is what we felt all along.
Atlanta police believe these two men, Deontay Reynolds and Stephen Abate, killed her and then moved her body. Abate is still on the run. While Jackson says it's been challenging getting through the holidays, one of her daughter's favorite times of the year.
Through the holidays, people are depressed, people are sad, people are hurting, right? I'm one of those people. And if it wasn't for my faith, I don't know where I would be.
She remains hopeful Alania will see justice soon. Now, Atlanta police did not provide an update on the case this evening, but did say the investigation is ongoing. If you have any information about the whereabouts of Stephen Abate or have any information that can help detectives, give them a call. In Piedmont Park, Joy Dukes, Fox 5 News.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Once again, the Associated Press has called the U.S. Senate runoff for Senator Raphael Warnock. You can look at the numbers there, 50.7% to 49.3% for Herschel Walker, about 50,000 votes separating them at this point.
Well, yesterday, Brent Key was introduced as the head coach of the Georgia Tech football team. In his introduction press conference, he mentioned that his team will work every day to defeat and dominate an opponent that resides in the same state. Tonight, he was at McCain's Pavilion for Georgia Tech's basketball matchup against the opponent he was talking about. The two basketball coaches, Josh Pastner and Mike White, greeting each other before the game, and doesn't look like some clean old-fashioned hate to me. First half, Georgia had the lead early, and Carol Aquendo with a step back as he adds the triple for the Dogs. Georgia lead 39-34 at the half. And in the second half, when things got interesting, though, Terry Roberts here sneaks through the Jackets defense for that tough shot. Put Georgia up 77-73, over 2 to play. Jackets come back, though. Miles Kelly hits the deep three by the corner with just over a minute left to make it 77-76. Then Kelly would nearly go coast to coast with the floater to give Tech the lead with 23 seconds left. The Jackets would hold on for a 79-77 win, and Josh Pastner's 100th win with Georgia Tech.
It was a great game for both teams. Like I said at the beginning, I think Coach White is an elite coach. What he's done at La Tech, what he's done at Florida, what he's going to do at, I think he's really, really good. And his teams play hard. And Georgia's a good team, and that's a good win for Georgia Tech. And we got a lot of young guys. We've had to tough some things out, and to be able to get that was great for us.
All right, I'm sure it feels to get the 100 against Georgia. High Five State Championships will be taking place all over Georgia starting this Thursday. One of the teams that will play on this early Thursday games will be Bowden, who will look to try and win their first state title since their last appearance 30 years ago in 1992. Oddly enough, 2 coaches on the current coaching staff were members of that 1992 championship team, including their offensive coordinator, who was the quarterback. Not just that, a handful of players on the team had fathers who also played on that very same team. Coaches and players reiterate that it's a big deal to the Bowden community to still have the 1992 team still in the area.
There's a lot of people that still live in Bowden who were on that 92 state title team, so the old-timers are still in tune with football. They come by the school, they'll come by and watch practice. You're going to run into them at a restaurant, and they're going to ask you how things are going. It is very important to our community.
Man, it would be amazing. I would give up anything in the world for it, and we put in the work to get there, so we're going to see Thursday.
I assume Dad will be there?
Yes, sir. I'm sure everybody will be there. Everybody loves Bowden football.
All right, good luck to Bowden right there. Coming up on the edge, we'll speak to another team headed for a 7A state championship matchup. Russ?
All right, my friend, thank you.
Yeah.
A wild chase ends with a fiery crash into a Georgia college dorm. How many students were forced out of their rooms just days before final exams?
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
A fiery crash forced 35 Georgia Southern students to move out of their dorms just days before final exams. Police say a drunk driver crashed into a dorm early Saturday morning while trying to get away from an officer. Officers identified the man as 21-year-old Landon Brock. Brock was treated for minor injuries, then arrested for driving under the influence, among other charges.
An accused burglar is under arrest in Coweta County, charged with stealing guns and collectible toys. Tonight, we're hearing from one of the victims desperate to get those stolen items back. Investigators believe Catherine Humphrey broke into the home of Stacy Lewis 3 times, stealing thousands of dollars in collectible toys as well as guns. Some of it has been recovered, but Lewis tells Fox 5 that many of the items are still missing and that they belong to her mother, who recently passed away.
I'm not trying to get anybody else in trouble. I don't want anybody, if she dropped it off at somebody's house and they've been holding it, I just want my stuff back.
Investigators say most of the items were sold on eBay. If you have seen any of them or know where they might be, you're urged to call the sheriff's office.
All eyes are on Georgia as Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock is re-elected to another term. We'll take you live to the Warnock and Walker campaigns for reaction straight ahead on News Edge at 11. Hope you'll stay with us.
Season's greetings from Good Day Atlanta.
Happy holidays from Fox 5 to your family.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Hello there. You know, I'm always going to give thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And also I'm going to acknowledge my wife Julie, because she's with me and she's been through a tough time. But I want to say that I want to thank all you as well, because we've had a tough journey, have we not? But one of the things I said is when they called the race, I said the numbers doesn't look like they're going to add up. But one of the things I want to tell all of you is you never stop dreaming. I don't want any of you to stop dreaming. I don't want any of you to stop believing in America.
Walker addressing supporters now.
But one of the things I want to tell all of you is you never stop dreaming. I don't want any of you to stop dreaming. I don't want any of you to stop believing in America. I want you to believe in America and continue to believe in the Constitution and believe in our elected officials most of all. Continue to pray for them, because all the prayers you've given me, I felt those prayers. I want to thank all my team as well, Team Herschel, because they put up with a lot. And I want to thank Team Herschel. Thank all my donors as well, because you guys, without you, I couldn't have done what I've done. So I want to thank all of you as well, because there's no excuses in life. And I'm not going to make any excuses now, because we put up one heck of a fight. And I said, that's what we got to do, because this is much bigger. This is much bigger than Herschel Walker. And I told someone this the other day. I said, you guys, I've done a lot of stuff. You talk about Heisman Trophy, you talk about all the athletic awards, business awards I won, but the best thing I've ever done in my whole entire life is run for the Senate seat right here. And the reason I'm going to say that is I got a chance to meet all you and to hear what you guys feel about this country. And I got a chance for you guys to tell me what you feel about this country. I got a chance to go into your homes, got a chance that you invested in Herschel Walker. And I thank you. And I thank you so much. And as I said, we can't blame no one, because I want you to continue to believe in this country, believe in our elected officials, and most of all, stay together. Don't let anyone separate you. Don't let anyone tell you that we can't, because I'm here to tell you we can. And I'm here to tell you we can. And as I said early on, God is good. And he's a good God. All the time, he's a good God. So I want to say, I'm never going to stop fighting for Georgia. I'm never going to stop fighting for you, because you're my family. Because I always... I'm a winner. Hey, we all winners, so we're all winners, and that's what I want to say. We're all winners, and I want to say God is a good God. God bless you guys, and let me tell you, stay together. Continue to believe in our elected official. Always, always cast your votes, no matter whatever is happening. Cast your vote for all that. In God we trust. I do. In God we trust. Continue to cast your vote. Never, never, never give up. All right? God bless you guys. Thank you, guys. And thank you.
All right, United States candidate for Senate, Herschel Walker, speaking to supporters there at his evening rally, hoping the night would have turned out differently for him. It was a razor-close night, much closer than many of the polls had suggested, with 93% of the precincts reporting. He thanked God, his supporters, he said, believe in the system. 49.2% as things stand now to re-elected Senator Raphael Warnock's 50.8%.
48,000 votes separating the two candidates, so razor thin. Well, several media outlets called the race for Warnock just in the last half hour.
Newshead reporter Deidre Dukes joins us now, live from the Marriott Marquis tonight. Deidre, how's everybody feeling there tonight?
They are ecstatic, Tom and Christine, and I have to tell you that Herschel Walker flashed on the screen here making his concession speech, and as he did so, you heard cheers and boos from this crowd as he conceded the race. We have not yet heard from tonight's winner, Senator Raphael Warnock. We are told that he is expected to take the stage at any time now, but as you can see behind me, it is standing room only here. This is a packed room. This crowd is on fire. They are excited. This watch party has quickly turned into a victory celebration after this tight race and months of campaigning, a runoff election resulting in this win tonight. They showed up and showed out for the senator. He asked them to stick with them during this runoff election, during what was a fast 4 weeks. This leg of the race went really quickly, and throughout the race, pretty much the day after the election, to the general election, we saw Senator Warnock hit the campaign trail. He was all over the state. He really wanted to reach not only his supporters, but he wanted to talk to Republicans, he said. He wanted to talk to independents. He really wanted wanted to try to bring everyone together and to really make his case for why he deserved to return to Washington, D.C. And this is the result that we saw tonight in those returns. Of course, it was a tight race. It was forecasted throughout, projected throughout that it would be, but it ended in a win for Senator Warnock. Again, we expect him to take the stage anytime now. When he does, we will bring his remarks to you. For now, that's the latest at the Marriott Marquis here in downtown Atlanta. Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
Where you have a lot of excited supporters there behind you, Deidre. Good night for the Walker camp and his team there. Now that we have an official winner, what does this mean for Georgia and the country moving forward?
Fox 5 anchor Russ Spencer joins us now with our panel of experts to talk about that, Russ.
Tom and Christine, thank you very much. Even with just one race on tonight's ballot, there's still plenty to talk about. Lori Geary, Theron Johnson, Brian Robinson with us. You know, I was struck how similar this was to November 8th initially. Senator Warnock went ahead, then it was so tight as a tick, and then Senator Warnock ended up with, 58,000 more votes at this point. It was 38,000 back on November 8th. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about his concession, Lori?
I thought it was a very gracious concession speech. I mean, it was very Herschel Walker. He's talking about God and praying. So I thought, and he's accepting the results, and he's telling everybody to stick together. So I thought it was very gracious. But I also think, the results of this race really show us where Georgia is, right? We're kind of a deep purple, maybe, really red on the Georgia slate. The Georgia statewide elected officials, and then in the Senate races were Democrat.
Yeah. Given all the baggage that he brought to this race, are you surprised that it was this close in the end there?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock. I didn't get a chance to do it in 10 o'clock hour, but I think that I'm so proud of Senator Warnock, the type of campaign that he ran, not only during the general, but in the runoff. I talked a lot about how the senator had to really come out and inspire Georgians, and he did that. He talked about the issues. He talked about public safety. He talked about health care. But look, Russ, to answer your question directly, the Warnock campaign knew this was going to be close. They never ever said they were going to blow this guy out. Now, I'm a little surprised how close it was, but I think ultimately, look, we're not just a deep purple state, and I love Lori, and she knows what I'm about to say, but we're a blue state, and I think we're a blue state definitely when it comes to runoff. And so Democrats, we needed this victory in a very, very bad way.
Well, I know you're sitting there, Brian, thinking to yourself, hey, wait a minute, didn't Republicans win every statewide race on November 8th with the exception of this one?
That's exactly right.
That's why we're deep purple.
Yeah,
blue.
We are not a blue state. And look, I think the results tonight show that Georgians really, really wanted to replace Raphael Warnock with a Republican senator. And there was just not quite enough who could get over their discomfort with some of what they saw on the stump from Herschel Walker. And it's not just the vampire and the werewolf. And we know the werewolf can kill a vampire, so we now know who in this equation is the werewolf and who is the vampire. The Walker campaign, at the end of the day, quit doing interviews. They quit, they wouldn't come on our show here on Fox 5. And what we saw tonight from Herschel Walker was a candidate who looked humble and was well-spoken. And I know he had that in him. Right. I wanted to see him do it on the campaign trail. He had to get over this bar of credibility. And at the end of the day, chose not to go out there and face the music. There should have been another debate during this runoff. He won the first one. And when you finish second, you can't just rest on your laurels. You got to go out there and win it. And I feel like he stepped off the field.
But real quick, Russ, I think we got to give more credit to Senator Raphael Warnock. Let's talk about what he did. Most people probably told him, hey, you may want to go fire up the base and the base only. He refused to do that. I mean, if you look at the hours that he spent going all across the state, I mean, he was talking to any and every voter that would talk to him. But more importantly, I think that, look, a lot of independents and moderates clearly broke his way. And I think young people, when the numbers are all sort of calculated, I think his ability to rebuild that coalition, and look, he was battle tested. He's been through a hard runoff before. And so while, Brian is going to do his job and talk about what Walker did wrong, I want to spend more time talking about what Warnock did right. And I think that this type of campaign, this moderate Democrat, is the future of the Democratic Party of Georgia. And a lot of folks have got to look at how he conducted himself and how he ran his campaign and he showed us how we can win in Georgia.
All right, well,
It's bad news that Democrats outspent us 3-1 and barely eke this out.
Hey, a dub is a dub. We'll take it. A win is a win.
There you go. We'll leave it there for the moment. We're expecting to hear from Senator Warnock at any moment. In the meantime, we'll send it back to Tom and Christine.
All right. As always, amazing analysis. Guys, thanks. Russ, thank you. In other news tonight, we are covering a deadly house fire and gas line explosion, which is now a criminal investigation. What the Fulton County Medical Examiner report says about one of 2 deaths.
I had to celebrate her because I love her.
I'm Joy Dukes, and coming up on Fox 5 News, a celebration of life for what would have been the 25th birthday of a Metro Atlanta woman that police say disappeared nearly 6 months ago. How loved ones of Alania Lenoir are remembering her as the search for one of her alleged killers continues.
Right now, a dense fog advisory in effect for much of North Georgia. What that means for your Wednesday morning commute up next in my Fox 5 Storm Team forecast.
Reverend Raphael Warnock!
Y'all settle down now. Settle down. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you. And to God be the glory. For the great things that God has done. And after a hard-fought campaign, or should I say campaigns, it is my honor to utter the 4 most powerful words ever spoken in a democracy. The people have spoken. I often say that a vote is a kind of prayer for the world we desire for ourselves and for our children. Voting is faith put into action. And Georgia, you have been praying with your lips and your legs. With your hands and your feet, your heads and your hearts. You have put in the hard work, and here we are standing together. I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to my mother, who is here tonight. You'll see her in a little while. But she grew up in the 1950s in Waycross, Georgia, picking somebody else's cotton and somebody else's tobacco. But tonight she helped pick her youngest son to be a United States Senator. My dad has long passed into the light, but he is still very much with us. I watched my dad, a pastor and a small businessman, take care of his family by working really hard with his hands and using his brain. And he picked up old junk cars and loaded them on the back of a rig that brain. And he picked up old junk cars and loaded them on the back of a rig that the mechanisms of which he designed himself, one on top of the other. And that's how he took care of his family. But on Sunday morning, the man who lifted broken cars lifted broken people. And convince them of their value. I would not be here were it not for them. I am a proud son of Savannah, Georgia. A coastal city known for its verdant town squares and its cobblestone streets. Tall, majestic oak trees, dripping with Spanish moss, bend and beckon the love of history and horticulture to this city by the sea. My roots, like the roots of those oak trees, go deep down into the soil of Savannah and Waycross and Scriven County and Burke County. I am Georgia. I am an example and an iteration of its history, of its pain and its promise, of the brutality and the possibility. But because this is America, and because we always have a path to make our country greater against unspeakable odds, here we stand together. Thank you, Georgia. I want to thank my mother and my late father. I want to thank my siblings who are here. I'm one of 12 in my family. Clearly, my folks read the Bible, be fruitful and multiply. Our family was short on money, but long on love, long on faith. And I want to thank my two darling children. Chloe and Caleb, whose brilliance and whose eyes inspire me to work for all of our children. Georgia, I don't want you to miss what you've done. In a moment in which there were folk trying to divide our country, and those forces are very much at work right now, Georgia did an amazing thing. In 2021, it sent its first African-American senator and its first Jewish senator to the United States Senate in one fell swoop. You have done it again. Thank you, Georgia. Now there are those who will look at the outcome of this race and say that, yes, you're right, we won. But there are those who would look at the outcome of this race and say that there's no voter suppression in Georgia. Let me be clear. Just because people endured long lines that wrapped around buildings, some blocks long, just because they endured the rain and the cold and all kinds of tricks in order to vote, doesn't mean that voter suppression does not exist. It simply means that you, the people, have decided that your voices will not be silenced. Let us not forget that when we entered this runoff, a vestige of the ugly side of our complicated American story, state officials said that we couldn't vote on Saturday. But we sued them and we won. And the people once again rose up in a multiracial, multi-religious coalition of conscience. You endured the rain, you endured the long lines, and you voted. And you did it because you believe, as I do, that democracy is the political enactment of a spiritual idea. This notion that each of us has within us a spark of the divine, that we were created in the imago Dei, in the image of God. And if you're not given to that kind of religious language, that's fine. Our tent is big. Simply put it this way, each of us has value. And if we have value, we ought to have a voice. And the way to have a voice is to have a vote to determine the direction of your country and your destiny within it. And so we stand here tonight on broad shoulders. Our ballot is a bloodstained ballot. We stand here on the shoulders of the martyrs, Schwerner, Cheney, and Goodman, 2 Jews and an African American who lost their lives fighting for that great American right to vote. Viola Luiso and James Reed, a white sister and a white brother who also lost their lives. Fannie Lou Hamer, that indomitable Mississippi sharecropper. And my parishioner, God bless his memory, John Lewis, who one day crossed a bridge knowing that there was danger on the other side, and yet he crossed that bridge while building a bridge for the future. And now it is on us, the latest generation of Americans and of Georgians, to keep building that bridge, to keep walking that long walk, pushing the nation towards our ideals. And so, Georgia, this is my promise to you. The work that we must do is difficult. The issues are not simple, they're complex. But here's my promise to you: I will walk with you even as I work for you. Because here is what I've learned as a pastor. You can't lead the people unless you love the people. You can't love the people unless you know the people, and you can't know the people unless you walk among the people. You cannot serve me if you cannot see me. And so during these difficult days, even as I work on specific public policy proposals and I offer bills and work with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to get those bills passed, I just want you to know that I see you. I see you parents as you're trying to put your kids through college and through community college and technical college. I see you students as you're trying to make a way out of no way. I see you essential workers fighting for a livable wage to participate in the prosperity that you create for others. Farmers who are an answer to our most basic prayer: give us this day our daily bread, and yet they struggle to hold on to the farm. Farmers, I see you, and I'm here with you. And together we can work through all of these issues. And I want all of Georgia to know, whether you voted for me or not, I get it. But I want all of Georgia to know, whether you voted for me or not, that every single day I am going to keep working for you. I'm proud of the bipartisan work I've done, and I intend to do more, because I actually believe that at the end of the day, we are all Americans. I believe in that American covenant. E pluribus unum. And it is that covenant that drives me to work to lower costs, to lower the cost of prescription drugs, to create jobs all across our state, to address the issue of criminal justice reform. Because I believe that you can have justice and safety at the same time. So thank you for this high honor. After a hard-fought campaign, you've got me for 6 more years. Let me quickly do a couple of things. I want to thank my amazing campaign staff. Led by Quentin Folks. I want to thank my amazing Senate team led by Mark Libel and my state team led by Meredith Lilly. I want to thank Lawrence Bell, who had a crazy idea that I should run for the Senate. I laughed, and here we are. And I want to thank the amazing people of Ebenezer Baptist Church who, amidst the attacks, stuck with your pastor. Thank you, Ebenezer Church. So, let's celebrate for a little while on this mountain. Let's dance because we deserve it. But tomorrow we go back down into the valley to do the work. I know that the days are still difficult. The times are dark, but the light, the scripture says, shines in the darkness, and the darkness overcometh it not. I'm ready to keep doing this work. I can hear my dad of blessed memory say, get up, get dressed, put your shoes on, get ready. Are you ready, Georgia? I'm ready. Stand up for workers, to stand up for women, to stand up for our children. I'm ready to build a stronger Georgia. God bless you. Keep the faith and keep looking up.
Newly re-elected Senator Raphael Warnock addressing his supporters for the first time since the projected win tonight. Looks like he's apparently hugging one of his kids there, saying the people have spoken tonight. He thanked his mother, his late father, his supporters, saying that in 2021, Georgia sent its first African-American senator and first Jewish senator to the U.S. Senate, and tonight voters did it again, he says. Here are the numbers with 94% of the precincts reporting. Warnock holding that 50.8% lead over Herschel Walker at 49.2%. Again, much thinner than the polls had projected, Tom.
Yeah, Christine, it was a lofty speech, an inspirational speech. I'm here with Fox 5 political analyst Lori Geary. We like to get into the weeds, into the mechanics of the race and how it was won. And for Raphael Warnock, that was focusing squarely on Metro Atlanta, because it seems, Lori, in this race, like many other for Democrat candidates here, Atlanta, the metro county, is kind of trumped. I mean, look at the state. It's deep red.
Yes.
And there, the bullseye is Metro Atlanta for Raphael Warnock. And for this runoff, that was the secret sauce.
It was. It's Metro Atlanta. I mean, when those votes start coming in, we know. I mean, this is a race that plays out time and time again. The early vote comes in. We know that trend that tends to be Democrat. When the day of votes come in, they tend to be more Republican. So if there's any takeaways in this race for Republicans, it's maybe they want to rethink the strategy on early voting and getting their supporters out to early vote, because you have a day like today where it's raining, it might discourage people from coming out to the polls.
And that was the difference, that we had record voter early voting turnout.
1.9 million people.
Yeah, and that pushed Raphael Warnock over the finish line. We were talking earlier about a county like Baldwin, and you kept mentioning Baldwin as sort of a microcosm of the state of Georgia.
And look, the numbers play out.
I want to show you, this is the statewide race and the numbers for Raphael Warnock, 50.8 to 49.2. Let's go back to Baldwin County, 50.6 to 49.4. How are they reflective of the rest of the state?
The reason I pointed out Baldwin County is because it's evenly split. It's about 50% Republican, 50% Democrat. So I said early on, this could be an inkling of where we end up. And sure enough, it is where we are. And it's where we are really as a state. Like Brian and Theron go back and forth on red or blue, but I really think we're kind of a deep purple state.
Well, this has been one that's been fun to watch. Nobody won it by such a huge margin. We've been watching all night. It's been going back and forth, but we finally have a winner. Lori, thanks for all the analysis.
Good to see you.
Fox 5 News Edge at 11. We'll be right back.
Fox 5 News is brought to you by Superior Plumbing. Call 770-422-PLUM.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
We're back with meteorologist Jonathan Stacy to give us a check of this forecast. It's just been gloomy all week.
It's kind of souped in today.
And we're going to really be at the apex of that gloom and doom tomorrow morning. And it really started tonight. It's all about the fog. So if you are going out tomorrow morning, going to work in the school, it's going to be a slow go.
Okay.
No way to put it here, folks. In fact, you can see here the visibility showing that we are down to a quarter of a mile from Gainesville to Atlanta, going out to Athens, and at Covington right now over in Newton County, you have misty conditions in place. A couple pockets of drizzle may be falling from the clouds at this point, but nonetheless, it is extremely foggy, folks. This is one of the foggiest nights, and it will be one of the foggiest mornings of the year. You can see visibilities are improved when you go up into the northwestern corridor of the state. You're not in the dense fog advisory, but that does not mean that you won't have issues tomorrow morning. We'll get to that in just a second. Right now, with the current temperature is 53 degrees. That's what it reads on the thermometer. Fog is firmly in place. This is normally showing us the skyscrapers of downtown and midtown Atlanta. Not tonight. It's a thick cloud, pockets of fog, quite dense, and you can see the cars down there on the connector, but you're barely barely seeing them. Visibility down to a quarter of a mile. Whenever these numbers are close to each other, the dew point temperature and the air temperature is the perfect recipe for fog. So the National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for much of the metro area, or all of the metro area, and for points to the north and to the east. The only counties not included are the border counties of Alabama and Tennessee, and it looks like you'll have some rain tomorrow. If you are shaded in the gray, once again, the metro area, the pockets of fog will be the thickest, really between I-85 to I-20, all east of the city. We're looking at visibilities maybe at a 1/10 of a mile. The hours I'm most concerned about are really 6, 7, and 8 o'clock. The fog should start to slowly let up and lift as we get into the mid-morning. So we'll start out with fog tomorrow morning, but the temperature will keep on climbing. Right now we're in the low 50s. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, you're in the low 60s, and then we'll kiss the low 70s. The fog relents, but then the rain moves in. Let's go ahead and time out those showers. Showers are scattered for the first part of the morning, hit and miss, but mainly it's for the far northern tier of the state, Ellijay, Clarksville, Gainesville, then into Pickens County, Cherokee County, getting some showers during the mid-morning period, and then by noon we have a line that's marching across the far northern tier. It's going to dip down to the south and cause that afternoon commute to be a little dicey from I-75 to I-85 all north of town, and then I do think the metro area will get in on the rainy action during the latter part of the commute. Around 6 o'clock here, you can see here we're close to 70 degrees, but those showers, yeah, they will persist until about this time tomorrow night. Here's a fast look at your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast. Of course, Joanne Feldman is back tomorrow morning on Good Day Atlanta, and she will have an update on this, but expect rain for the second half of your weekend, with temperatures falling from the 70s into the 60s. Guys?
All right, Jonathan, thanks. Well, the celebration continues at Senator Raphael Warnock's watch party. You just heard the speech, the lofty rhetoric from the newly minted, re-elected United States Senator. Some inspirational and faithful words being spoken there at the Marriott Marquis.
Yeah, and this has been the temperature and the atmosphere of the watch party all night tonight, even when polls closed and even when the numbers kept flip-flopping. Every time we would take this picture and check in with our reporters there, I mean, this was the energy around it the whole time.
Yeah.
I would think there would be some, nerves, and maybe there were some behind the scenes that we didn't see, but
Lori,
with as close as this race was.
While we're all watching the speech together, and Democrat, Republican, no matter who the candidate is, if the rhetoric is there and the words and the inspiration are there, of course you go to, is he a future presidential candidate?
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to, because now he's an adept politician. We see the way he speaks, and that's just where some people's minds takes them when they listen to him.
Some people feel like he's been able to gain some support from independents to help him get over the finish line. It's such a close race as well. We do want to check in with our Denise Dillon, who has been following along with the Herschel Walker campaign.
Denise, the mood there, not as joyous tonight, but certainly some inspirational words from Herschel Walker as well, thanking his supporters, thanking God, and a dignified concession speech.
It certainly was. And when he came out to talk to his supporters, he was introduced by his former teammate, Doug Flutie. His wife, Julie, was on stage with him. And he told the crowd that the best thing he has ever done was run for the U.S. Senate, because he got to meet so many people and hear what they thought about our country.
One of the things I want to tell all of you is you never stop dreaming. That's right. I don't want any of you to stop dreaming. I don't want any of you to stop believing in America. I want you to believe in America and continue to believe in the Constitution and believe in our elected officials most of all. Continue to pray for them, because all the prayers you've given me, I felt those prayers. I want to thank all my team as well, Team Herschel, because they put up with a lot. And I want to thank Team Herschel. Thank all my donors as well, because you guys, without you, I couldn't have done what I've done.
And he also told everyone to continue to get out and vote. He said that he is never going to stop fighting for Georgia. Reporting live, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
All right, everybody is cleared out there at the Herschel Walker campaign. Denise, thanks for the latest reporting there tonight. Stay up to date on everything related to the runoff election by downloading the Fox 5 News app. You'll be able to see the final results and anything else you might be looking for. We'll have much more for you after this break. Stay with us.
Watch live wherever you are. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Developing tonight, the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office ruled one of two deaths in a house fire as a homicide. The fire happened at a home on Bolton Road near 285 and I-20 Saturday morning. Emergency crews pulled two bodies from the house. Authorities still haven't identified the victims. Federal investigators originally classified the fire as a pipeline disaster. Now the medical examiner says at least one of the deaths is a homicide. It's been nearly 6 months since the disappearance of a Metro Atlanta woman police now believe was killed by two men at an apartment complex in Midtown.
Tonight, family and friends of Alania Lenore gathered at Piedmont Park to honor her memory with a vigil on what would have been her 25th birthday. Fox 5's Joy Dukes has the story.
Yeah, it was a bittersweet day for loved ones of Alania Lenore, many of whom are still fighting through the emotions that have come with her disappearance. Months later, still no body found, still no closure. But on her birthday, Tuesday night, their focus was celebrating her life.
Now we are like the pieces of her that are here.
Dressed in pink, holding balloons, flowers, and signs.
She's always wearing pink on her birthday.
Loved ones of Alania Lenore got together Tuesday evening inside Piedmont Park, the unofficial meetup spot for their search parties, this time for a slightly different occasion.
It's about Alania's 25th birthday.
A cupcake candlelight vigil to celebrate her life on what would have been a milestone birthday.
I had to celebrate her because I love her and they love her too.
Her mother, Jeanette Jackson, tells Fox 5 it was important that they spent the evening in good spirits because it's what she would have wanted.
We just wanted to make sure that we were festive, you know, and doing things that would honor her.
For the last 5 months, Jackson has fought for answers she hoped would bring her daughter home. She was last seen at 1660 Peachtree Apartments in late July. Atlanta police believe these two men, Deontay Reynolds Reynolds and Stephen Abate killed her and then moved her body. Abate is still on the run.
I just don't want it to happen to anybody else.
While Jackson says it's been challenging getting through the holidays, one of her daughter's favorite times of the year.
Through the holidays, people are depressed, people are sad, people are hurting, right? I'm one of those people. And if it wasn't for my faith, I don't know where I would be.
She remains hopeful Alania will see justice soon. Now, Atlanta police did not provide an update on the case this evening, but did say the investigation is ongoing. If you have any information about the whereabouts of Stephen Abate or have any information that can help detectives, give them a call. In Piedmont Park, Joy Dukes, Fox 5 News.
New tonight, an argument led to a shootout at a DeKalb County gas station. We saw patrol cars, crime scene tape, and shattered glass at the BP gas station on Rodan Road. Medics rushed one man to the hospital in serious condition. Authorities have not made any arrests. Atlanta police say that a man wanted in a double homicide is now in jail. According to authorities, Deshare Barnes Jr. shot and killed 2 teenagers near an apartment complex staircase over the summer. Barnes is now in the Fulton County Jail on several charges, including 2 counts of murder.
A Fox 5 News alert out of DeKalb County. Police need the public's help identifying a murder suspect. Investigators have connected this man to the murder of 17-year-old Ian Haggerty. Haggerty was shot and killed during a candlelight vigil on Flat Shoals Road last month. The shooting also injured an 11-year-old boy. If you've seen him, police ask that you give them a call. New tonight, Morrow police say a 20-year-old man shot and killed a driver who ran over his brother. Jonathan Johnson was walking along Mount Zion Road with his brother around 10 o'clock Friday night. Authorities say 28-year-old Antramico Williams accidentally hit Johnson's brother. The two got into a fight outside the car, and according to police, Johnson shot and killed Williams. Johnson's brother is in the hospital in critical condition.
An Atlanta police officer is in critical condition at the hospital tonight after a suspected drunk driver struck him. It started around midnight when officers responded to a call at an Exxon gas station on Jonesboro Road. Police say a man threatening a woman with a firearm took off running when they arrived. Officer Robert Golden chased him, and that's when a driver struck both the officer and the suspect running away.
Our officer and his family does need your prayers, and the Atlanta Police Department will be here with the family until he makes a full recovery, which is what our prayers are for this morning.
Authorities charged Jason Haynes with DUI and serious injury by vehicle. As for the suspect in the original call, APD says that it's arrested Charles Thomas 5 times since 2006.
Well, one basketball coach got his 100th win tonight over a big-time rival. We'll show you how he got it done next. And we talk state championship with 2 teams trying to write their name in the record book. Stay tuned. Sports is up next.
Call 1-800-WIN-WIN-1. Gary Martin Hayes and Associates.
The news moves fast, and so do you. So take the news with you. You can scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 News app now. Inside the app, hit the Watch Live button to stream Fox 5 News wherever you are. Get alerts for the biggest stories and the latest news headlines, weather coverage, sports breakdowns, even I-Team investigations. So what are you waiting for? Scan the code now and take the news with you. Download the Fox 5 News app now.
Get the power of the Fox 5 Storm Team in the palm of your hand. Scan the code right here to download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. Inside the app, you'll find everything you need to plan your day and keep your family safe. Set your location to get instant notifications for weather near you and even get life-saving alerts when severe weather threatens. From your hourly forecast to a full 10-day breakdown, it is all at your fingertips. Scan the code now and take the Fox 5 Storm Team with you.
Oh, man, yesterday Brent King was introduced as head coach of the Georgia Tech football team. In his introduction press conference, he mentioned that his team will work every day to defeat and dominate an opponent that resides in this state. Tonight, he was at McCain's Pavilion for Georgia Tech's basketball matchup against the opponent he was talking about. Now, the two basketball coaches, Josh Pastner and Mike White, greeting each other before the game. Doesn't look like too much old-fashioned hate to me. First half, Georgia had the lead earlier. Carol Aquindo step back nice. If for the triple, Georgia leads 39-34 at the half. In the second half, when things got interesting, Terry Roberts sneaks that one in over the Jackets defense. Tough spot there. Georgia up 77-73 with 2 to play. Jackets come back, though. Miles Kelly hits his deep three by the corner with just over a minute left to make it 77-76. And Kelly will nearly go coast to coast with this floater to give Tech the lead with 23 seconds left. And the Jackets will hold on for a 79-77 win and Josh Pastner's 100th win with Georgia Tech.
It was a great game for both teams. Like I said at the beginning, I think Coach White is an elite coach. What he's done at La Tech, what he's done at Florida, what he's going to do at, I think he's really, really good. And his teams play hard. And Georgia's a good team, and that's a good win for Georgia Tech. And we got a lot of young guys. We've had to tough some things out, and to be able to get that was great for us.
Our High-Five State Championships will be taking place all over Georgia starting this Thursday. One of the teams that will play on this early Thursday games will be Bowden, who will look to try and win their first state title since their last appearance 30 years ago in '92. Oddly enough, 2 coaches on the current coaching staff were members of the '92 championship team, including their offensive coordinator, who was the quarterback. Not just that, a handful of players on the team had fathers who also played on that very same team. Coaches and players reiterate that it's a big deal. The Bowden community still have the '92 team still in the area.
There's a lot of people that still live in Bowden who were on that '92 state title team, so the old-timers are still in tune with football. They come by the school, they'll come by and watch practice. You're going to run into them at a restaurant, and they're going to ask you how things are going. It is very important to our community.
Man, it would be amazing. I would give up anything in the world for it, and we put in the work to get there, so we're going to see Thursday.
I assume Dad will be there?
Yes, sir. I'm sure everybody will be there. Everybody loves Bowden football.
Meanwhile, the Carrollton Trojans will be taking on Mill Creek in the 7A state championship Saturday. Led by freshman phenom quarterback Juju Lewis, Carrollton holds an undefeated record as Coach Joey King has the Trojans rolling in just his second year at the helm. With just 4 seniors on offense and 3 on defense, King says he's surprised how much success his team has had in just 2 years, especially as his team prepares to face a school with so many more kids.
We've got, 1,700 kids, and they've got, I don't know, a lot, 3,800 kids. But whatever, we're in 7A, they're in 7A. They're going to put the ball down, and we're going to kick it off and get after it, on Saturday. So I've just been super proud of our kids of tuning out all that stuff. Sometimes people ask about the numbers and, what did you think going into 7A? Man, it's just a great opportunity for our program, for our school system.
If you guys get a chance now, that's Saturday night at 7. That's going to be a really good game. Oh, yeah. Carrollton versus Mill Creek, 2 really good opponents. And some Falcons news. Chris Lindstrom Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Falcons. Pretty cool. He gets nominated for what he does off the field in the community as well as what he does on the field. So big kudos
like
to
an
Chris
all-around good guy.
Yeah. All around, like you, Tom, just an all-around good guy.
I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking of myself when you were talking about it.
The Hawks also be back in action tomorrow night playing the Knicks in New York.
Oh, nice.
Got to get a win. We just lost the other night to the Thunder last night, so got to get back on the winning
trail. We know how much Trae Young is loved in New York City.
Yeah.
When they play the Knicks.
Real quick, one more look at the Senate race. It was a close one.
Hey, little brother. Make this December one to remember. Happy holidays from Lexus.
From Fox 5, News Edge at 11 starts now.
It's official. Raphael Warnock has won re-election to the United States Senate over GOP challenger Herschel Walker. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight for Fox 5 News Edge at 11. I'm Tom Haynes.
I'm Christine Spiro. Let's go live to Herschel Walker addressing supporters now.
But one of the things I want to tell all